Welcome to P.O.W.E.R Podcast, where we promote women of empowerment and excellence. Come spend 10 minutes and listen to inspirational women tell their stories. These professionals will empower and motivate you to be the best you can be. My name is Marie, and I'm one of your hosts today. I have a very special guest. Her name is Kimberly Meere. Kimberly is a psychotherapist and a licensed master of social work. She's a wife and a mom, and she's an incredible individual. Before I introduce Kimberly, I just want to give you a little bit of a background. Kimberly has over 10 years experience in providing individual, family, and group therapy to clients targeting anxiety, depression, and stress relief. She also works with adolescents who struggle with anxiety and related disorders, such as ADHD and eating disorders. Kimberly also works with many blended families that are challenged by fractured relationships due to divorce and new family structures. She's an amazing person. Kimberly, before I introduce you, I know there's an alarming statistic out there. Over 40 million adults suffer from anxiety and depression-related situations. Tell me a little bit about what got you started in this field, who or what inspired you to become a psychotherapist?
Okay, well, thank you, Marie, for having me today. There's a few things that inspired me to become a psychotherapist. Going way back, it was when I was a child. I didn't have an easy childhood. It was filled with a lot of family dynamics, issues with family dynamics, and also I was bullied as a child in school every day for many years. There were issues at home, as I mentioned, and I wanted to help other kids not have to deal with the same things that I had to deal with. I felt so isolated, and I wanted to give them somebody they can talk to with actual skills that can help them. So I also naturally connect with people, and interestingly, over the years, I discovered that we actually have a lot more control over our life story than we think. So I've discovered how we actually decide how we want to think and feel and act. So we create our own reality, and I would love to show people, I love to have the opportunity to show people how this is done. It's done so easily.
Now, let me ask you, as far as your certifications and your educational background, just tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, well, I got my BA in psychology at Binghamton University, my master's in social work at Adelphi University. I interned at a school in Massapequa for a year or two running banana splits groups and socialization groups with kids, as well as, individual and group therapy. I also worked for Tri-CYA, a Tri-Community Youth Agency in town of Huntington, where I worked with underprivileged families. We did family therapy, group, individual, and, of course, we created all kinds of new programs for the kids. And then I worked at Central Master Guidance for 2 years, where I worked on a Hurricane Sandy grant, which was phenomenal, and also a Stability at Home grant, which basically was designed to bridge the gap between the hospital and long-term care for people with all kinds of mental health issues.
Wow, so you have an extensive background. You're amazing. Now, let me ask you, special techniques that you use when dealing with adolescents that struggle from anxiety and, any related disorders, depression, stress, specific techniques that you use.
Yes, there are specific techniques. First and foremost, when it comes to adolescents, any parent taking their child to see a therapist, the most important thing is this child and the therapist have to connect in some way. If there is no real connection in terms of them enjoying each other or trusting in each other, any possible protocol is not going to work. Okay, so that's most important. So if your kid comes home and says, I don't like this person, you need to find somebody else. It could be a little bit of a process before you do. But the techniques that I use mostly are what's called a cognitive behavioral therapy. I use mindfulness techniques. We use meditation. I teach them how to not ruminate about things. But cognitive behavioral therapy, just in brief, is basically a fancy way of saying cognitive, which is the way we think, influencing our behavior, the way we act. And so it's basically something happening, and then we interpret it a certain way. We attach a feeling to it, and from that feeling, it creates a response in us, a behavior. So when we break it down sometimes in certain situations, if we just take a step back and look, we break it down and we see that there's room for different types of interpretations in different situations. So the kids are dealing with I hate school, I don't want to go to school, or, so-and-so is bothering me in school, or whatever the case may be, or eating disorders. So what we have to do is sort of break it down and understand their thinking. And once we do, the kids generally see that their thinking may be not 100% accurate. So that's sort of the way we go.
Okay, great. Do you conduct seminars? Do you do any lecturing?
Yes, a couple of times a month in New York. I do seminars, I do lecturing, I do webinars. And, if anybody wants information about that, they can, email me, and I'd be happy to send them my schedule or set up a seminar with them. For a lot of times people want to address different groups, maybe in the school district or in a business. It's really great because, in terms of the school districts, I usually talk to the PTA. I'll also have a separate seminar for the teachers, a separate one for the kids, and then everybody's sort of on the same page. It's a wonderful thing. In addition to that, I do go around to certain businesses, and I do have motivational talks, basically teach people how to reduce the effects of stress and anxiety so that they can be more successful and, accomplish their goals.
Absolutely. Now, Kimberly, you're part of P.O.W.E.R, the professional organization of women of empowerment and excellence recognized. What does it mean to you to be part of this group, this organization?
Well, it's an incredible honor because I know the level of expertise that the women in P.O.W.E.R have. And it really is special because I've always felt like, we as women have to encourage each other and support each other. And that's what this network is really all about. Mm-hmm. Oftentimes it seems that sometimes men get sort of the bigger standing in certain situations and sort of the more of a focus sometimes, and this provides us with an avenue where we can actually really look into what some of these women are doing that are really helpful to, everybody.
Mm-hmm. Well, you are certainly a woman of power. You're an amazing person. I mean, to just help these adolescents and these families who struggle from this disorder, it's just amazing what you do every day. What are some of your future goals?
Well, basically, I want to empower other people, teach others how to take control of their lives, and to maybe also teach their families and teach their friends how to do this. And I think all we need are tools on a regular basis. So what I try to do in my therapy sessions is offer my clients everyday tools, practical tools that are easy to implement, research-based tools that help in everyday situations. So to help sort of provide a roadmap for overcoming depression, retraining our brain, and basically teaching us how to stop, repeating the same negative patterns of behavior that we exhibit despite our good intentions. Mm-hmm. So I would love to train as many people as I can. I feel it's a gift to have discovered that you have more control over your life than you think. Even if things are absolutely terrible right now, they don't always have to be that way. Mm-hmm. And there's always hope.
I have to say, I think everyone should go to therapy. I don't care if you think you have problems or you don't. I think therapy is the best thing. What's great also is, when you speak to a friend or, a parent, they might tend to judge you. But when you go to an outsider, a therapist, somebody who's a professional in this field, they're not going to judge you. And we all have problems. We all have situations in our lives. And to just have a professional help you with that is just amazing.
Absolutely. It's a luxury. It's no longer a stigma attached to it. It's a luxury to have a therapist and to be able to go into a safe situation where there's no judgment and you can speak and not have to worry about the repercussions of who you're speaking to or what you're saying. It's a wonderful thing. And, one other thing, most people have all kinds of stress and anxiety disorders and they're highly treatable, but only about 36 or 37% of those suffering from anxiety or depression actually go to receive treatment, try to actually get treatment. So people who don't get treatment are 3 to 5 times more likely to end up in the hospital than those that don't. It's really necessary because even if you don't feel like, I don't need therapy, but you will one day, and you should start now because this might be preventative.
Good point. Good point. Well, Kimberly, I have to say it's always a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you for being here today. We're so proud to have you part of P.O.W.E.R. And if you want to reach Kimberly, you could reach her at her email and tell us what that is.
Okay, it's my name. It's Kimberly Meere, KIMBERLY MEERE @gmail.com. You can also reach me by phone at 516-637-1525, and I'm located in Huntington Village in New York. And I also do virtual sessions online. We can always work that way if you're not nearby, over the phone as well.
Great. Thank you for inspiring and empowering other women. Thank you for the excellent work that you do with children, and we look forward to speaking with you soon.
Thank you very much, Marie. I really appreciate you having me on the show today.
Have a great day.